Okay, so you want to be getting back to your natural resonance, your natural true soul frequency in this journey. Um, Partly why you don't feel right within yourself, maybe, or within your environments, maybe because the environment is out of alignment with your true essence, your true frequency, your natural state, your natural base state. You might, like, it doesn't matter where you are, like whether it's in a relationship or in a workspace or in a home environment, if that's not your truth, like that you've been trying to fit into, then you're gonna feel wrong within yourself. You're not gonna feel grounded in that space. It's actually, I've become aware of this recently, that's why I've kind of felt like I don't fit in most places that I've been in, whether it's work or whether it's a living space. It's because I've been out of alignment with my natural energy. For example, if you are naturally a fiery energy, then if you're being or trying to be anything but that, it's going to pull you out of your base. It's going to pull you out of your grounded feeling, because that is your grounded state. Like, some people are naturally like earthy people, like watery, slow energy. But if you're an air or fire energy, a high frequency energy, a high fast moving energy, then you, anywhere that you're not in that energy, it's not going to feel right to you, and you're not going to feel right in that space. And that's, you want to be like anchoring your soul back into that state, back into that base frequency, back into alignment with that base frequency. Even, and it sounds funny because when you say base frequency, I feel like that evokes in people a feeling of groundedness, of earthiness, but that's not necessarily the case. It's dependent on your soul frequency. Your base grounded feeling may come from being in a fiery state, being in a high, passionate, like fast moving, you know what I mean, state. That might be where you feel most grounded. So if you're not being in that, then that's going to disconnect you from your twin to start with, and it's also going to make you feel not right in yourself. So it's about getting back to that state. And basically, when you like anchor your fragments to back into the ground of that, that's when you'll be able to connect with their grounded aspect. And it's funny because I talk about connecting with the base, and to people that are in 3D consciousness, they don't seem to understand that. It's actually been quite a challenge for me over this journey to try and put what I know on a soul level into English. It's felt like translating my soul, and it's been really challenging at times, because I'm like, I haven't been fully connected to that grounded aspect, so I haven't been able to, you can only explain something the way that you understand it. So I'm getting there. It's becoming easier to put it into language that, like, when I say 3D consciousness, I don't mean that from judgment, just it's becoming easier to put it into language that makes sense to the masses, shall we say, rather than just making sense to your sort of higher spiritual woo-woo people. Because I mean, that's partly why you want to be merging that 5D and 3D aspect anyway, because then in that sort of balance in between, you can communicate in a way that both can hear you. You can communicate in a way that the spiritual people that you've been attracting this whole time, that get you and that understand what you're talking about, you can keep them interested, but you can also pull the people up from the ground that don't understand it in that language, that need it in a more 3D way in order to relate to what you're talking about. But yeah, so this is, you have to anchor all these aspects that you've split from back to ground, and that's when you will connect with their base. So you're connecting with that earth, that grounded aspect, whether it's actually an earth energy or not, it might not be, but you'll be able to connect with that base container, if you like. So the person who all the fragments of the soul are going to collapse into, that's who you want to be connecting with. And as you get there yourself, you will pull them to you. But then once you connect with them, you might kind of bounce into a bit of separation again if the frequency is not quite right. So you almost go into, or for me anyway, I've gone into sort of a process of attunement from that place and into like balancing state with the balance. So he's been just holding the ground, and I've been trying to shift my frequency, but because I'm now in the container of my soul, but it's like just grounding those higher frequencies essentially, so that I can be grounded in myself and grounded in that higher fiery energy, separate to him. Like when I first connected with him a few months ago, it's like I got engaged to him on a soul level or a physical level, but we couldn't stay together at that level, or we can stay together, but we're essentially kind of like the same person rather than polarizing each other. So what you have to do is reclaim or ground those higher frequencies and those other aspects into the container, to then be able to polarize the earth low I don't mean low frequency in a judgment way, but like the slower frequency of them. You then want to balance that and polarize them by being up, and if you're a fire energy, up in your high frequency energy, to then be able to magnetize to each other, rather than I guess when you connect with the balance, you're still somewhat attached, rather than, so you want to be able to pull your energy away from them while still staying connected to them, if that makes sense. So get yourself back into your feeling like you're in alignment with your natural frequency, your natural soul resonance, and you will be able to attract the right environments to you, or you will feel right in the environments that you are in. If the environment itself is right but you've been wrong in that, it could be one way or the other. Either the environment is not a fit to your energy, so the environment needs to shift, or the environment is a fit to your natural energy but you've not been in that state. Does that make sense? So I think that's all I wanted to say for this video, and I'll speak to you again soon.